What's up everyone? Today we're doing the ultimate tiger bug snipe build and I had a lot of fun grinding for this. But before we get into all of that, I first want to shout out Leban, who I got inspired by, and I saw him running this in the arena quite a little bit. I also saw that he released a video on the build and the two possible variations of it that he discovered. So I will leave a link to his video in the description, but we are going to be doing a slight variation on that. I really like the concept. If you are not aware, by the way, the idea is that we are going to be using the Pteranodon in order to maximize as many jumps out of the tiger bug as possible. And we are doing this because every time the tiger bug jumps, it deals 9 damage at level 3 to 2 enemy units up front, so that is absolutely nuts. You can get a lot of snipe damage doing this. And you can optimize heavily for this. I saw him doing the Wolverine strats, and I also saw him using Pteranodon, but I thought that I should add a third puzzle piece to the mix. And today we're going to be using a seagull with onion as well. He's been putting onions on his tiger bug for the double jump, of course. If you don't know what the onion does, it's like a unit with onion jumps to the back, and then whenever it's a jump unit that's in question, the unit with onion just jumps back to the front once again. So basically it's a way to double your jumps, which is a little bit funny. And with this seagull that we're going to be using, like, you'll see the combo in action. I probably put it in the thumbnail, but you have to trust me. I did the calculations, and I think this combo can deal upwards of 200 damage, like 216, something around that to be precise. So yeah, a lot of damage you can dish out, but the build is not without its problems, unfortunately. And there are many of them, sadly. Like a way of scaling is very difficult to come across for this build. You also are very vulnerable to any kind of interruption, like snipes, weakness application, even like eggplant or seahorse to misposition your team that completely destroys you. Also, the game itself is against you because it's a little bit inconsistent how Onion works currently, and every single game that you enter you might have a different Onion interaction which can potentially ruin your entire combo. So it took me a while to get this. I'm just a little bit frustrated, you can probably tell. But I did get this over the line, and man, oh man, the satisfaction was just incredible. Here we find the first puzzle piece to the combo, that being the seagull, and very luckily we get it up to level 2 almost immediately. Next turn we have the potential to get it up to level 3 as well. Usually in these kinds of builds you want the tiger bug to come first because it's a great tempo unit, as we end up losing against a Monty team, which is pretty funny. But yeah, we get the seagull first in this attempt, so we're going to take it. We also find a very lucky monkey, and we're going to take that for the extra scaling on the seagull. We definitely need scaling on that because it has a high likelihood of getting sniped in the end game, so we just want to make sure it has just enough HP because we need it to survive. We are also going to be putting onion on it and not like melon or something, so we don't have access to any protective equipment. And yeah, I think pretty soon the combo will evolve into its final form, but for now we're still looking for the puzzle pieces as we find the second one in the shop. The tiger bug itself has joined the chat, and yeah, I think now our team is a whole lot better with a level 2 tiger bug on the team. Level 2 tiger bug, I believe, deals 6 damage to the front 2 pets of the enemy, so that means 12 damage in total, plus it itself is a 6/6. Very luckily though, we end up facing this draw team and we end up drawing. Like, in a lot of these scenarios I was just facing So many draw teams because the games used to go to like turn 10 and I only have like 1 or 2 wins like I do in this scenario, which is a little bit sad, but I think we have a great setup going into this one. We have the Seagull up to level 3. You can see I also pick up a Frogman for some in-between scaling. Frogman isn't going to be in the final build, but at least for the meantime it's going to be very useful to have. You can see +4/+4 and it actually wins us the round because of that clutch buff. So I'm very happy to have taken it. We're also going to put Onion on the Seagull right here. And actually pretty interesting interaction right here. You can multiply the amount of perks that you have. Like here you can see I am taking the Tiger Bug and now I am putting it onto my pre-existing Tiger Bug. So now I have double Onion. And yeah, Onion on the Seagull with a Frogman on the team is also very nice because now the Seagull is going to be scaled up as well. We even find a Pteranodon, which is the third puzzle piece that we need. Alpaca is going to give it 1 extra XP next turn as well, so that is absolutely perfect. Hopefully this turn we don't lose. Our opponent doing something very similar, but you can see the amount of stats we gain from the Frogman, absolutely nuts, and we end up winning. It's kinda crazy because the stats are not even the focal point of this build, but we end up getting them anyway. We get yet another Onion on the Pteranodon and we keep finding more and more in the shop. Onion on the Pteranodon means that it's going to be scaled up by the Frogman as well. And just in case you haven't realized this already, this is not the optimal positioning for our highest possible number of snipes. We're just scaling up at the moment. We're going to have plenty of rounds where we scale up in the future. But for now you can see 33 Tiger Bug and the rest of the units are scaling up as well. Thankfully, at least for the Pteranodon, we can afford to put some other equipment later on in the run. Like you can see right here, I find a melon, so I just consider pivoting off the Frogman, but it's not time yet. We are still looking for the fourth and final puzzle piece. We still have not found it, but at least all of our other stuff is up to level 3 already, so we don't have to worry about finding extra copies of those. We're going to be getting some massive stats on this turn as well. Our opponent's scaling as well in a pretty interesting manner, but they are using ailments instead of jumps. However, we do have the superior stats, so we end up winning easily. And any day now I should be finding the fourth and final puzzle piece and I can transition away from the Frogman hopefully. A whole turn worth of rolls and I have not found it still. Hopefully this last roll, and it was the last roll that found us the puzzle piece. It is the Wolverine that we need. And I'll be very happy to show this off once the Frogman is sold, but for now we are taking a final turn of scaling. Thankfully, because of the nerfs to the Vampire Bat, we actually do manage to win. If that was old Vampire Bat, we would have lost there guaranteed, I'm pretty sure. But for now we are taking the Wolverine onto the team. Alpaca can also go. Maybe I even take this Blobfish Pill to get the Wolverine up to level 2. Yup. And actually pretty curious interaction. I keep wasting the Seagull and Pteranodon triggers, but I think it's for a good cause because I end up getting a level 2.33 Wolverine and now you will be able to see the build in action. We're putting the front slot to be empty so that the Tiger Bug jumps to the front. Weasel is going to amplify its damage and then the Pteranodon is going to respawn it. That is if we don't get interrupted like in this scenario right here, which is a little bit sad, but thankfully we do manage to scrape a draw. So yeah, this game is gonna go very late, but thankfully this build is pretty strong when it's at full efficiency. And you can see other than levels and equipment we don't really have much left to buy, so I'm just buying like lettuces and stuff. Yeah, you can see the combo here being inconsistent, by the way. This is not how I wanted it to work. I didn't want everything to waste its onion and we end up losing as a result. but hopefully after this turn it should be behaving normally, or at least I hope it does. I'm pretty sure we had a decent number of rounds where the combo was performing beautifully, and it was like a work of art, honestly. So here I am thinking for a moment what I want to do. The melon goes on the backline because I really don't want the Pteranodon to die. At least if the Wolverine dies, the Pteranodon can respawn it, so it's not the end of the world. Here we find a pretty strong team, but now the combo is working correctly, and you can see the tiger bug jumps twice, then it respawns with a onion from the seagull and then jumps several more times. Even at the end it jumps one last time, but we don't need the snipes anymore. And yeah, absolute insanity how much damage this can potentially deal. So yeah, we have the setup fully completed. Now we're just going to put some protective equipment on the Wolverine. We're putting a potato to hopefully protect it from like a leopard sniper or something. Here we die, but we come back once again. We even lose the onion on the seagull, but thankfully they do have so weak stats that we end up winning. And we are getting pretty close to the final turn. Here I believe I'm going to replace the potato with a melon just for the extra bit of safety. Taking the apple, nothing better to buy. This isn't the final round, so let's just enjoy it together. I think we do it at full efficiency on this turn. Just look at this. 36 damage, another 36 damage with the onion, yet another one, and we keep spamming them with things from the thingy. Things from the thingy, very nice expression right there. And thankfully we end up drawing, so we get to see yet another wave of this insanity, and I believe this is going to be the final turn. I am not doing any buy sells because that weighs the triggers on the seagull, so I'm just going to end turn, and I really hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, I hope that you like, sub, do all the generic stuff, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.